Greetings! I am Maestra Ombra McKelly from the Kingdom of Trimaris, also known as Samantha Moore. My website is www.heartshavenmusic.com. I am a subsidiary of ravenboymusic.com, a group of amazing artists who are good instrumentalists and lyricists. And if you have not heard their music yet, please do. They can play circles around me for sure. Also, special note to, and thanks to my producers, Mistress Adelaide de Beaumont, Lisa Theria, and her husband, Sir Kenneth, Ken Theria. They have been so very instrumental in my growth as an artist. Adelaide very much helped me hone my voice and communicate what I meant to communicate, as opposed to the 12 different things that I thought my beautiful filler lines communicated but didn't. And Sir Kenneth answers my questions probably quarterly, if not more, about all the tech stuff that I need to get from my studio. And need is relative. I keep asking for more. He's very, very helpful, even though my follow through is laughable. So I have all the things. I'm still learning in the studio. So, but I know that I have amazing support. There are countless other artists who have helped me. I've been in the Society for Creative Anachronism since I was in the womb, my very first event. And I'm now 30 some odd years old. I started singing when my father basically told me that I could stay up for as late as I wanted to around the fire, so long as I stayed near the Bards. So that meant that I saw the dawn, because that's what a kid wants. They want to stay up past their bedtime. And so I was filled with beautiful, dancing imagination magic, and I eventually found my voice, both in my writing and in my vocals. So, and it's a journey, you're never there. I have many things to improve upon. However, tonight is about sharing this beautiful music, some of which is already recorded on the CDs. So if you go to heartshavenmusic.com, you can definitely get those there. Some of which have not been recorded yet. Ooh. However, the lyrics are also available on said website. You are more than welcome to share them in your local circles and that sort of thing. Have them, share the music. If I die and nobody knows my name, but they sing my song around a fire, I feel like I will have succeeded as an artist. If you want to record, you have to talk to my producers. But other than that, we'll go ahead and skip all the talky, because I can certainly go on. We're going to start with Heart's Haven, which is a song that I wrote, and Adelaide actually helped me with this one. I wrote this song to express the perspective of my household, honestly. It's just, giving people a comfortable place to share their inspiration, to share their music, their passion, and then to spread, to pay that forward, Generosity begets generosity. I do want to take a moment and thank the staff, and especially the individuals who helped to arrange these concerts. I have never been to a Cooks and Bards yet. I made a pact with a friend for last year that we were going to go, and then the pandemic had other plans. So it is on my list. Typically, it runs up against one of my Kingdom Kingdom events, but I'm going to prioritize it because it's so amazing. You got bards who like to eat, and you've got cooks who like to be entertained in the kitchen while they're stuck there for fracking all day. And then you've got, the mead makers and the ale bakers, the brewers who make everybody happy. So it's like the trifecta of awesome, at least from a bard's perspective. So this is a great premise for an event, and I'm very humbled, like I said, to be here. And so I'm going to start Heart's Haven. Yay! Harbor, I spy how your feet shuffle so, how weary the miles you have trod. My hearth, it is bright, and so dark is the night, your head is beginning to nod. A song for your supper, a tune for your drink, a story or jest for your bed. Tell me a tale, you'll have meat and good ale, and a haven for your weary head. Come set down your burdens and sit beside me, drink deep and eat hearty this night. Coin you may lack, pull a rhyme from your pack, and a melody for my delight. A song for your supper, a tune for your drink, a story or jest for your bed. Tell me a tale, you'll have meat and good ale, the haven for your weary head. One seat always open, one cup always filled, one place by the hearth always spare. For no one shall be in the heart's company, wanting for comfort or care. A song for your supper, a tune for your drink, a story or jest for your bed. Tell me a tale, you'll have meat and good ale, and a haven for your weary head. And when your long journey has come to an end, and you reach the comforts of home, my kindness recall, light the fire in your hall, and welcome the weary who roam. Say a song for your supper, a tune for your drink, a story or jest for your bed. Tell me a tale, you'll have meat and good ale, and a haven for your weary head. Say a song for your supper, a tune for your drink, a story or jest for your bed. Tell me a tale, you'll have meat and good ale, the haven for your weary head. Tell me a tale, meat and good ale, haven for your weary head. We tune because we care. Okay, so I'm going to sing this next song. Actually, the second song I ever wrote. All my life I knew what I was going to do with the rest of my life. Since I was 12 years old, I had a very clear, defined path for myself. And I find it hilariously ironic that my two younger sisters actually achieved said goal, or are achieving it, and I did not. But I did my best, and unfortunately that door was closed to me. And then I had to figure out my life. So this song was very much a parallel to being so focused on a desire and ignoring all else, and having that lack of balance come back to haunt you, to perhaps pursue your goals with a little more wisdom, not deny yourself, not limit yourself, but perhaps seek a more balanced approach, which is good for the soul. This is called Windward Wanderlust. Oh, sorry, and it's on K-Book 4. When I was but a young man, maid. When I was but a young maid, I had aspirations none, save to marry a rich merchant, bear him rich merchant's sons. Hearing once a minstrel song, I made another choice, judged not by blood nor breeding, but the beauty of my voice. A windward wanderlust, take me from my home, to find myself in fortune's grace, the byways for to roam. Along the road I met a man as comely as the sky. He offered for my travels but a single question: why would I reject the marriage bed, a home, a hearth, a fire? Oh, I seek rings from noble hands, for fame is my desire. My windward wanderlust wouldn't let me be his own. So it was I steeled my heart, made my way alone. Onward to the market towns I travelled seeking fame, and soon from into gilded hall the people knew my name. Then cruel fate did strike me down, as like to be God's will. For with the winter came the snow, with it I grew ill. My windward wanderlust and pride had made me vain, and the road it held no warmth for me, but the snow, the sleet, the rain. I walked as far as I could walk, I crawled yet farther still. Body numb, my senses gone, naught held me but my will. I had no fire, no shelter, no voice left to summon aid. No, I shivered in the frozen winds, alone, part afraid. Damn my windward wanderlust, the master of my fate. Across the line of freedom fell, a shadow seemed too late. Slowly I awoke, no longer was alone. Wrapped within thick furs, I felt the warmth sink to my bones. The young man sat beside, I tried to speak, but all in vain. Now the fear rose up inside me, would I ever sing again? Had my windward wanderlust damned me for vanity? How had I this angel gained to sit and watch o'er me? Many years have passed, I've no regrets I would declare, save opposing to my ego and a lesson to beware. When you make your prideful way without a home or friend, the greatest fame still leaves you cold and friendless in the end. My windward wanderlust may take me from the town. Not every hand that's offered me will try to tie me down. My windward wanderlust has deigned me far to roam, but the west wind takes me wandering, and the east wind brings me home. Yay, peace. Alrighty. Let's put the guitar down for a moment. We'll come back to it, I promise. So, I was told that I sing a lot of Irish songs where people are sad. And people don't like to be sad all the time, Ombra. That's what I was told. So, I got into a bunch of Irish music during some time. And because Irish music is awesome. It's got beautiful melodies. It's all heartfelt conversation, etc., etc. So, but typically the story goes, not the war-oriented one, but the love one is, oh, I loved a lassie and she was so much more beautiful than me, but I did something, or she did something, or we did something, and one of us is dead. And so at one point somebody just asked, can we have a happy Irish song? And I know there are others out there. I know there are. But this one is mine. I wrote this one with a friend of mine. I was having trouble on one of the verses. Honestly, I was writing it over the course of a week, and I just really wanted to knock it out for some beau I was fascinated with over the time. But a friend of mine, Azorun, from the Kingdom of Aidenveld, or at least in the Kingdom of Aidenveld, she was an Atlantean at the time, she helped me with one of the verses, and it's called Never Find a Laddie. and I like it. And this is the Borin, and so I haven't actually recorded with the Borin, so hopefully I don't blow out the microphone, so I'll try to deaden it as I can, but it's a little bit fun. And I hope you like it. Lyrics for this are also on the website. There's never a finer laddie than the laddie that I love. Never a finer laddie than the lad that I sing of. A ready smile, a cunning wit, a laugh that's easy won. Mercy me, it's plain to see my heart has been undone. Now I've been known a rover, I've roamed by land and sea. From sailor unto noble, I've been sought most courtingly. And though it's true a time or two, it seems I was beguiled. All would pass in fancy, still I saw my laddie smile, singing never a finer laddie than the laddie that I love. Never a finer laddie than the lad that I sing of. A ruddy smile, a cunning wit, a laugh that's easy won. Mercy me, it's plain to see my heart has been undone. Now some maids covet power, a man both keen and stern, while others crave the crafty lord, the riches he can earn. But gold won't soothe your sighing, and no silver buys your love. In the end, a loving friend is all that I dream of. Singing never a finer laddie than the laddie that I love. Never a finer laddie than the lad that I sing of. A ready smile, a cunning wit, a laugh that's easy won. Mercy me, it's plain to see my heart has been undone. The twinkle in his eye, his roguish hand in mine, are all I value most and will never fade with time. And when that I am old and grey and cannot hope no more, I'll have my laughing laddie, I, the man that I adore, singing never a finer laddie than the laddie that I love. Never a finer laddie than the lad that I sing of. A ruddy smile, a cunning wit, a laugh that's easy won. Mercy me, it's plain to see my heart has been undone. Ah, there's never a finer laddie than the laddie that I love. Never a finer laddie than the lad that I sing of. A ruddy smile, a cunning wit, a laugh that's easy won. Mercy me, it's plain to see my heart has been undone. Aye, mercy me, it's plain to see this maid has been well won. Yay! That's one of the ones that just sort of like popped together with the aid of course, another voice. I'm just so grateful. You know, there are some that you struggle with for like eons. You know, like it's 10 years and you still haven't gotten through that first verse and that first inspirational chorus, which you're probably going to scrap anyway. Should you just go back to this, you know, drawing board, but you can't because you're emotionally attached to it. But yeah, that's good. All right, so keeping up with our higher energy happiness, we're going to sing another song. But first there is a story. Yay, story time with Ombra. So I am mistress of the arts of the laurel in poetry, and of course recognized for my bardic contributions in all the artsy-fartsy, like servicey stuff that I do. Yay. But growing up in a primarily martial household, I am very much inspired by the field. There's just something about the clash of sword and shield, and, you know, bright armor in the sun, and the trials and tribulations of the soldier, and of course the beautiful romance of the consort. You know, as a female fighter, that can mean anything. You know, I just love that you get to stand up there and you get to fight for somebody's favor. And, you know, the concept that you are walking on the field with not just representing your honor, you know, or valor or prowess or whatever, but also somebody else's honor. And it's not so much in your skill set, which was an early conflict in my understanding, but rather in your decorum, in your sportsmanship. Do you comport yourself with honor? That is how you maintain somebody's honor. I once actually gave up fighting because I thought that, I'm no good at this, and so I'm just going to embarrass my father and dishonor him. And my dad very, you know, quickly, actually years later after I told him why I stopped fighting, which he was very supportive of because he's always supported, even though it hurt his heart a little bit, and I know, he's like, well, that's dumb. I mean, I'm not fighting. If you don't win, then, you know, you don't win. That doesn't dishonor me in any way. If you don't win and you storm off the field throwing shit, you know, yeah, that might do it, but that's not in your character, so move on. So that's an interesting mentality. Anyway, to be on the field, you must be in armor. And sometimes you can have like lots of mad money to spend, and sometimes you have to create your own armor. And so I had created this Kydex creature, which in my mind looked very much like a Corsina. However, having actually constructed a Corsina now, I know that it did not at all. But it's still on the field. It's still, after like 10, almost 15 years now, it still survives and is useful in the field. So just to say that, it's pretty cool. But it was Kydex covered in fabric, which meant that there were a fair amount of rivets that had to be made. And this was before I discovered the glory that is pop riveting. But there were 9 million fracking rivets on this thing that I had to do. And so my father came in and he showed me how to do one. And I had known how to do one from before, but as a good tutor, he showed me how to do one, and I did one under his supervision, and he's like, excellent. Do them like that, we'll be good. So he leaves. Comes back maybe 30 minutes later. I've gotten a bunch knocked out, and he says, what is this? No, pitiful. Do it again. And so I said, okay. And so he leaves, and I take them all out, which takes a fair amount of hand strength to pop all those copper rivets, because you got to literally break the metal. So I get them all out, and I start again, and I get just about as far as I did the first time, and he comes back in, and he looks at him, and he says, nope, pitiful. Take him out, do him again. And he walks out. I did not throw the hammer in my hand at him as he went out the door, and I want eternal credit for that, because I feel like I deserved it. I earned it. But I went to task, I took it apart, and I put it back together again. And when he came in the third time, he said that my riveting was acceptable, which is hallelujah. That's what more than I could have hoped for. And so, but when he returned, I also had a song for him, and that is this song. And it's called Squire's Lament. Anybody who's been in the SCA for any length of time will be able to connect with some of these. In Trimaris, it is not so for all kingdoms, but in Trimaris, Squire can take a man-at-arms, and so one of the verses references that. So if you're in a kingdom that culturally that's not a thing, just know that it is where I am, and suspend disbelief for a second, and come with us on this journey. I would one day be a knight, let me tell you why. 14,000 rivets struck, 40 more to pry. All my hands are cramped, my fingers sore, and I've yet touched a blade. But as a goodly knight assures, for such were squires made. Now service is the soul of man, so our knight doth say, and that's why I'm posting every bloody tent on the field today. All my hands are cramped and fingers sore, though I've yet touched a blade. As our goodly knight assures, for such were squires made. Household bears a heavy price, one I get to pay, 'cause your tables, chairs, and benches all I made last Saturday. All my hands are cramped and fingers sore, though I've yet touched a blade. As our goodly knight assures, for such were squires made. Now it's all about aesthetics, so hath our knight decreed, and that's why I pack a trailer full of crap we really need. All my hands are cramped, my fingers sore, and I've yet touched a blade. As our goodly knight assures, for such were squires made. I'm a human pal, it seems, working on my guard. Bruising parts of me keep whispering, quit and be a bard. Nah, hands are cramped and fingers sore, though I've yet touched a blade. As our goodly knight assures, for such were squires made. I would someday be a knight, but today my charms have won me the guile to take a man at arms. His hands be cramped and fingers sore, though he's yet touched a blade. Has all thusly him ashore, for such were men-at-arms made. Wah! Hands are cramped and fingers sore, though we've yet touched a blade. And as we're always so assured, for such were minions made. And it all rolls downhill. Yay! Song from Strife. It's the best type. Okay. So, there was a ground tourney. My very dear friend, Sir Valbrander, Kingdom of Tremors. He is husband to my knight, my sister, my good friend Cherish. And I had written over my tenure many songs about Cherish because she is one of the few females of the society who have stuck with it enough and have garnered the prowess necessary to be recognized as a peer and as a knight. She's a female knight, rock, frack, and steady. That's pretty inspiring. So, now mind you, she's a real life hero. She carries babies out of fires for a living. So, like, the bar's still high, very high, even though she's shorter. But I'd written many a song for her. And Nathan asked me, he's like, I'm kind of jelly, I'm a good knight, and I do good things, and I fight really pretty, and like, I want a song. And he said so in a very nice way. But, he is not the first to say such things. One's valor should live beyond. Their story should be told. So I told him in the middle of a crown tournament, I said, all right, here's the deal. You win this, and I will write you a song. Which gave him some added inspiration. Now, mind you, he had all the inspiration he needed because he was, madly in love with his wife, and they do everything together, and and he is a very, very skilled combatant. But there were other skilled combatants in the list, and it could have gone a different way. And he was mindful of that. He very much wanted to make his lady a duchess, and because she was already a countess, and he didn't want to fail her, on the field. And he was also mindful of the type of king he would make, because he tended to be a man of fewer words. And as king, this is fine, but you're expected to talk to your people and connect with them, So, he was a little worried about that, a little in his head. So, in my estimation, they did a fantastic job. That said, I wrote the song about his perspective, which happened to be Cherish-centric. So, while I fulfilled my oath, he won the tourney, and I wrote the song about him. Really, it's a song about him, talking to Cherish. So, it doesn't count. I think it counts. Anyway, it's an awesome song, so you can suck it up. I say humbly. All right. If Their Memories Fade is the name of the song. Sorry, down the wrong tube. And I hope you like it. Warline breaker, hammer wielder, valor's child is Sir Valbrander, who upon this field takes arms to prove his skill is sure. All for Cherrick, eld the Gandhi, shield wall bracer, stalwart Valkyrie, for if love or sickness he would seek no cure. And in his mind he finds a voice of shadowed doubt, ton, and so he wonders, What if I falter? What if I fail? What if upon this field of prowess I cannot prevail? Will I prove foolish or win the day? Few men before their time has ended of their fate may say, but as his memories fade and all his glories seem to blur, this he remembers. I fight for her. Stands he now as tourney's victor, and in love he kneels before her, for to offer all he has and all he's yet to gain. Cherrick asks if they are worthy, or if pride will be their story, and for what good purpose might he truly seek to reign. And in his mind he finds a voice far bolder than his own, and so he answers. We will not falter, we will not fail, we will in any test of honor let honor prevail. We'll prove not foolish, and come what may, we'll let our deeds in history be but what the bards may say. And if their memories fade and all our glories seem to blur, let them remember. I fight for her. Sits our king and queen before us, with vivat and ardent chorus, as the burden of the crown sits heavy on the soul. as he meets each gaze before him, those who doubt or who adore them. Cares he not the cost, he knows he'll pay the toll, for in his mind he finds a new resolve to call his own. But still he whispers, this prayer he whispers, let me not falter, let me not fail. Let Odin guide my better judgment as my course sets sail. Prove me not foolish, and come what may, let me remember always those I live to serve, I pray. And if their memories fade, and all my glory seem to blur, let them remember, let them remember, I fight for her. Yes, pray remember, always remember, we fight for her. Yay. Oh, nope. I was looking for my video and I hit the zoom button, but we're doing one thing at a time right now. Okay, so I've jumped all over this list, but we are coming up near the end. We still have a little bit of time left. We're about halfway through. So we're going to change up the pace just a little bit, and I'm going to sing a song from that is basically a play on perspective. So I read a poem, a beautiful poem, and it's only one that I've found, though I believe there's like one other at least. But there's one poem in existence that speaks to the progeny of Hades and Persephone. Parents' relationships are complicated. Rumors are rumors. Things are different. Various different people have perspective on rewriting the concept of history. But if you read your history, if you read your mythology, you will find many versions of this song. You will find versions of Persephone where she reveled in her court because she became goddess of the underworld as well, a goddess, of the spring, which is more attributed to her than her power. Forgive me. No COVID, I promise. Just laziness from the pandemic, not singing enough. And so I have actually read versions of this tale where their love was true, but Zeus was jealous. In some versions, he's trying to placate Demeter and it's just a political thing. In some versions, Zeus actually seeks Persephone as a bed partner, if not a true consort, because of course he can't give her a crown because that belongs to Hera. And she denies him because basically Hades can offer her something more. He can offer her a crown. He can make her the goddess of the underworld. And so there's this rumor in one of the mythologies that I've read that Zeus actually guised himself as Hades and slept with Persephone. Slept with Persephone and bequeathed the daughter Melano. However, this has been countered by others because her powers are of the underworld, and Persephone doesn't come from the underworld, and guys do not. Zeus doesn't come from the underworld, so where would she have gotten it? So, in this rendition of this perspective, Hades and Persephone loved each other very much, and they had a daughter, and there was drama in the golden court of Olympus, and that's what the story is. The story is actually played from the perspective of Melano, the daughter. For those of you who don't know the mythology, Melano is the goddess of ghosts. She was conceived near the river Styx. She has 6 arms, and she is split down the middle, half ebony and half alabaster. She is moonlight and darkness. And she has a robe that she wears that is made of wayward souls. And when her mother is bound for the earth, when she spends those 6 months away, she cannot bide without her mom. She misses her. She misses her mommy. So she goes to the world of man to seek her. Now we cannot behold her, for she is a goddess of the dead, and we are living. So if you see Melano, something happened. You gotta embrace the fact that you're gone, buddy. But she will collect your soul, and she'll take you back to the underworld. So that's good. Also, it's said that at the midnight hour during the spring and summer, if you hear a dog howling, it is because they can sense the presence of Melano, and she walks the earth. So be mindful. Ooh, and as we're nearing spooky time, this is the perfect one. And I'm going to start drinking this water without breathing it in. As bringer of the darkness, she's known by mortal man, or goddess of the springtime when the blossoms bloom again. But it is not Persephone who buries you in snow. No, it is her mother's grief at parting, grief I've come to know. So pity on to meet her and stoke the waning fires, but pity not Persephone who heeded her desire. My father knew no finer maid than fair Persephone, and though her kin deny the truth, she loved him heartily. Thus in his blazing chariot he led his lover down, and offered her what Zeus could not, a burnished shining crown. Ah, but Zeus denied, was jealous, and imposed a dual fate. I am the proof that love, if true, burns bright for those who wait. All hail Hades, all hail Persephone, all hail true love, for it sows death and rebirth. All hail Hades, all hail Persephone, all hail true love, for it humbles all the earth. The golden court can whisper on of lust and Zeus's guile. Know my power tastes of darkness, I have my father's smile. Persephone, my mother, savored well the fruits below, and as the queen of darkness birthed a daughter, Melano. For by the river Styx she lay, in passion's heady mist. I am the proof that shadow and the light can coexist. All hail Hades, all hail Persephone, all hail true love, for it sows death and rebirth. All hail Hades, all hail Persephone, all hail true love, for it humbles all the earth. Now I was born unto a world as black as gleaming oil, a goddess of the dead, but heedless of the mortal coil. My robes are sown of wayward souls, my court of ghostly grace, and though as fair as moonlight, no man living knows my face. And every time the bringer of the darkness doth depart, I stand as proof my father fairly won my mother's heart. Each year my mother leaves to bless the barren world above. I cannot bear the months apart, nor bide without her love. So when you hear the howling of the hounds by moonlit hours, know that I walk your mortal fields to seek my mother's flowers. To all you lost and wayward souls, come, attend me well, for I am the proof that love can light the deepest shades of hell. All hail Hades, all hail Persephone, all hail true love, for it sows death and rebirth. All hail Hades, all hail Persephone, all hail true love, for it humbles all the earth. All hail Hades, all hail Persephone, All hail true love. May you learn what such is worth. So yeah, happy time. So I wrote this song from my father's perspective. Back to war. You know, the reason I had to write the happy songs. My father spent his time overseas. He served his kingdom for all of his career. When he retired, he went back to serving his kingdom for his country for another year, for another decade. And he was away. Now, I knew that it always weighed on his soul that he was away from his little girls, who loved him very, very much. And it was something he regretted. The calling of his heart was to serve others, and that came at a cost. He felt great to us, but it was important to me that he we understood the value of that sacrifice. So I wrote a song from my perspective, from his perspective, of his perspective. Something like that. A song to help him understand that we understood. So that's what this song is. It's called I Am Able. You ask as if heartbroken why I must go. That you know not is my failing. You doubt that a part of me abides with you, though with my king I am on the tide sailing. In life there is darkness, though you've known but light. Each day I must fight for that fable. My fealty once sworn to my king as a knight, to my oath binds my sword if I'm able. And I am able. My mind is sharp and my heart it is bold. The older my body grows, each passing season shows that I am still able. You ask if my favor might better be bought by one of more strength or more beauty. If some greater effort might better be wrought to sway me from my sense of duty. Oh, I wish I could spare you the grief of your doubt, but wisdom and youth share no table. Though you curse a life you know nothing about, with each step I give all I am able. And I am able. My mind is sharp and my heart it is bold. The older my body grows, each passing season shows that I am still able. You whisper your fear as by dawn I depart. I know there is much left unspoken. So heavy my burdens, heavy my heart, to think that I leave your own broken. I pray that someday you may yet understand what duty and honor and kingdom can mean for a man who has fought for his land in defense of his home and his freedom. But I am able. My mind is sharp and my heart it is bold. The older my body grows, each passing season shows that I am able. My mind is sharp and my heart it is bold. The older my body grows, each passing season shows that I am still able. Sorry about that, guys. Hang up there in a minute. It's a good one. She says humbly. So along that vein, because we're doing social stuff, as you'll see, a lot of my work is just influenced by the field. I wouldn't tell the story exactly this way because, at an event, because, suspend disbelief, don't talk about vehicles, right? But for realsies, I was living in Maryland at the time, and there was so much traffic. I would spend an hour and a half in traffic just to get home or go to work, and like my work would be like 20 minutes away as the crow flies or something, right? But I'm in traffic for just way too long, and I am just not having a good day. And I slam my brakes before running into the back of somebody. I don't actually hit them, but I, it's one of those stop and go moments, and I go a little bit too much, and I had to stop. So I stopped, and so I immediately looked at their bumper to make sure that my bumper wasn't touching it. It wasn't, and I was lucky. I was good. And the person behind me, cursed my name, I'm sure. But if you've ever lived in Maryland, I mean, just don't buy a clutch. I had a clutch. I went through 3 of them in 6 years. So, yeah, women drivers, whatever. But seriously, bad juju. So I'm looking at this bumper, and there's a sticker on there. It says, all gave some gave all. And in my Grumpalumpa state, the only thing I can think was, that is such a good idea for a song. Hello. What a great idea for a song. So I wrote the meat of this next song in the car going home. I used to have, at the time, a recorder. Now we all have cell phones, but I had this little recorder device in the car because inevitably I'd be bored and da-di-da, and then I would at least have it forever. I also have dozens of cell phones that are dead with lots and lots of different ideas that I've never pulled off. So that's that's one of my resolution efforts, is I gotta go through that and figure out what's worth it, what I've actually already used and what I need to nix. So yay, projects. Okay, let's focus. Who served the soldiers? Early one morn to the market I walked, a bonnet to buy for my heir. I passed a bold wastrel who called for a coin. Of 2 I had 1 I could spare. A charity thusly supplied was no sin, though he'd likely just waste it on wine. Though no longer could I my bonnet afford, a ribbon would do just as fine. Who serve the soldiers, who serve all the rest, the few and the brave and the best of the best. In duty and honor, in humility, they've all given some, and some give all for thee. Later a soldier who served at the war took refuge with us for the night. He entertained all with his tales of the front, thus he gained great esteem in my sight. For his quick wit defied any pain in his eyes, and his words held no hint of regret. He had sacrificed much, and he'd sacrifice more. His one fear that we would forget. Who serve the soldiers, who serve all the rest, the few and the brave and the best of the best. In duty and honor, in humility, they've all given some, and some give all for thee. So I offered the ribbon I'd purchased that morn, and told him my favor he'd won. He said, good my lady, your kindness and yours, of greater gifts I have known none. For I was that veteran who called for your coin, and though I must leave with the dawn, pray let your fine ribbon remind you of me, and thus shall I ever live on. Who serve the soldiers, who serve all the rest, the few and the brave and the best of the best. In duty and honor, in humility, they've all given some, and some give all for thee. He left the next morn, too soon I learned. He met his end on the field. Defending his captain, my bold soldier fell. and honor was lain on his shield. Each morning I rise, I remember his words, and all he so willingly gave. That fine yellow ribbon I bind in my hair, and another doth lie on his grave. Let us serve the soldiers who serve all the rest, the few and the brave and the best of the best. In duty and honor, in humility, they've all given some, and some give all for thee. Remember the soldiers who serve all the rest, the few and the brave and the best of the best. In duty and honor and humility, they've all given some, and some gave all for thee. They've all given some, and one gave all for me. A toast to soldiers, those who serve others, first responders, those who make service to others their higher calling. So, speaking of callings, I grew up around the field. It's one of the things that have inspired me the most. And so all of my songs are about it, one way or the other. The concept of self-sacrifice, just the anthology of the perspective, the psychology that goes into the field, has always really intrigued me. I wrote this song for my knight. And to be fair, it's actually got a couple lines in there from Valbrander as well. So even though it's not about him or for him, it is in spirit of him. So, just remember that. So I, at one point, stepped away from fighting, and then I went back to it because I was like, I may not be the fastest or the best, but I really love it. It's good for my soul. I mean, nothing gives me more jazzed. And I'm a good shield. I'm a solid shield. At war, I have danced along the war line with people who are far above my skill caliber, and I have been useful, and I have known my own share of glory. And before I sing Cherish a Song, I'm going to sing I Add My Shield to the Wall, which is not recorded yet, but the lyrics are online, and it'll be one of the first ones that go on there. Rolling with Cherish, I was with Cherish when she started out, and so there was a time where she was not so awesome on the field. She was more akin to my level at one point, and then she got good and devoted herself to the craft. Go figure. And she achieved an ultimate accolade, of knighthood, which is a challenging and admirable feat. But when we first started, when we were young squires, what had happened was we would go to the field and we would come home, and inevitably people around the fire at camp or whatever, they'd be asking, how many people did you kill? Or somebody would be around the fire saying, oh yeah, I killed 10 people today because I'm a Sauron with a glaive, or I killed 20 people today because I have a spear and I am awesome with it. And then they would ask inevitably, because we were in armor and it's polite, well, how many people did you kill? And we were like, whoa, maybe one, maybe two, maybe not that many. And it was about the third day of coming home and having to answer the same question in the same demoralizing way, when, after we answered, a good, smart general, Jeff of Tramaris, he asked, but how many good shield maidens did you save? And I said, that deserves a song. So I add my shield to the wall. Getting back to our guitar goodness. Okay. A glaveman was boasting, I took 10 men down. Spearman said twice, that has earned me renown. When asked on my merit what count I claimed mine, the answered, I saved many lives on the line. I add my shield to the wall. My glory's not forged by the foemen who fall. I guard well my kinsmen, all against the tide, that by God none shall fall who would stand by my side. An archer proclaimed by my bow it began. A siege master cried, did you see how they ran? A lady of coursing asked, did you pursue? We answered them all with humility true. No, I add my shield to the wall. My glory's not forged by the foemen who fall. I guard well my kinsmen, all against the tide, that by God none shall fall who are standing my side. Then a red-belted youth asked, did you ever tire? I laughed, don't be foolish, of course, my good squire, but mind you the shame should you have to declare. When the well fell, brother, you were not there to add your shield to the wall. Glory's not forged by the foemen who fall. We guard well our kinsmen, all against the tide, that by God none shall fall who are standing our side. My king called my name, held my hand in his hand, and he spoke, brave the heart, who beside me would stand. Not once took you ease, I was proud you were mine. I answered, my liege, a shield rests at the line, where I add my shield to the wall. Glory's not forged by the foemen who fall. I guard well my kinsmen, all against the tide, that by God none shall fall who would stand by my side. So add your shield to the wall. Glory's not forged by the foemen who fall. We guard well our kinsmen, all against the tide, that by God none shall fall who would stand by our side. Chin up. Chin up. All right, so our last song, I'm going to be able to sneak it in on the wire-ish. This is the one I actually wrote for Cherish. And Valburn asked me when I was sort of hesitant on taking a squire, which is something I always wanted to be, was to take a squire's belt and be a squire. I focused on one path at a time and became a laurel before I considered taking on an official student. And I know people, the fealty thing is weird, but still I'm a student in the art, martial art. And that's a squire. But he said, if you never reach a destination, is the journey any less worthy? And not to say that I couldn't do it or I wouldn't do it, but to stop worrying about that. And what I truly wanted, was this a path for me? And the answer was hands down, yes. It's how I've always lived my life, how I always will. And so yes. So yes. And so I decided I took on Sir Cherish's belt because of many, many different things that I've littered in this song that she helped to, chin up me about. And funnily enough, she became my first student. So I am her squire and she is my apprentice. And we walk our journeys separately but together. Okay, so anyway, this is called Journey's Just Begun. We need a higher cable. There we go. Oh, look on yonder field, see the cross upon that shield, see that sword slip through their guard like rain. Watch how she takes that step, so off they fall for that. All too well, too many know that pain. Though every blow a thrill, I have yet her cunning skill, still my heart finds joy most in the fray. And I know deep within I belong midst battle's din, so I heed the words I've heard her say. Hold the field for one more moment than the rest. Never let enough be quite enough to be your best. Should your soul be aching from the trials you've yet won, Hold your head up to the sun, and remember that your journey's just begun. By how I've wasted years, bent my knee to faceless fears, haunted by the risk of pride or shame. Raised in the company of such warriors' legacy, when compared, how could I reach my aim? Yet have I come to know that which most may lay me low. Oh, is this voice of doubt that bars my way? And I'll not heed it more. I know what I'm fighting for, so I'll heed the words I've heard her say. Hold the field for one more moment than the rest. Never let enough be quite enough to be your best. Should your soul be burdened by the trials you've yet won, hold your head up to the sun, and remember that your journey's just begun. If I can only learn from each fall, I know I'll earn all the peace I seek upon this quest. For till the day I die, I cannot but heed the cry of this call to battle neath my breast. So here upon bended knee, I give oath of fealty, and by all I am I swear one day, when I take belt of white, chain of gold, and stand a knight, still I'll heed the words I've heard you say. Hold the field for one more moment than the rest. Never let enough be quite enough to be your best. Should your soul be aching from the trials you've yet won, hold the field for one more moment than the rest. Never let enough be quite enough to be your best. Should your soul be burdened by the trials you've yet won, hold the field for one more moment than the rest. Never let enough be quite enough to be your best. Should your soul be aching from the trials you've yet won, hold your head up to the sun, and remember that your journey's just begun. Then I'll know my journey's just begun. It was an honor to share my humble songs with you. I hope you enjoyed them. Please feel free to friend me on Facebook and we can chat music. And I look forward to seeing you at the next Cooks and Bards. Enjoy the rest of the shows and all of our wonderful time. I know there are awesome lineups coming up after mine, so definitely stay tuned, and may the muse be with you all, my friends, always.